What's up, it's you? For today's video, with a full Geodude evolution team. Super Bowser, this one is for you. So, I've actually never done this team before, and Geodude Alola is finally back in the game. So, I'll be using Geodude Graveler and Golem, and then I'll use Geodude, Graveler, and Golem Alola. So, a team of 6 Pokemon. So, essentially 2 Geodudes, 2 Gravelers, and 2 Golems. Some interesting abilities there, especially Galvanize. I'll be include all abilities and some cool movesets for this team. First battle here, this one's against Bobrai. I think that's how you say it. This is a random battle on the Poké Portal, and we got a Grimmsnarl lead. I've never seen one of these in my life before. A Grimmsnarl lead is, so rare. So my first Pokemon is going to be Geodude. Now, this is a Stealth Rock, Explosion, Endure, and Earthquake set. I got Max Health and Max Attack, Adamant Nature, and I got Sturdiest ability with a Custard Berry. So Custard Berry being back in the game is quite nice for a sturdy Pokemon. So we're going to have this Geodude actually setting up the Stealth Rocks here, and we got the Grimmsnarl going for as a parting shot and going into Trevenant. So Trevenant is going to be quite a powerful Pokemon against my team. Now, this Pokemon team had a lot of weaknesses. It really, really did. So it was very, very difficult to actually use just due to people bringing super overpowered teams, very, very competitive teams, and of course, teams that completely counter it, but it made a very, very good challenge. So I'm going to go for my attacking move here. I've got the priority, Custard Berry grants priority, and I couldn't really do much here, so I used up my Custard Berry. I just tried to stall out this Grimmsnarl's screen that I put up there, and I was thinking with Reflect Up is going to be quite difficult. So I tried to stall the Trevenant as much as possible. Earthquake was going to do nothing, so there wasn't much point using it, and Explosion wasn't going to do anything because it was a Ghost type. So now I'm going to go to my Geodude Alola. This is an Explosion, Stone Edge, Protect, and Counter set. Unfortunately, Trevenant really counters, pardon the pun, both of these sets too. So this one is going to be Max Attack and Max Speed. Custard Berry Sturdy again as the abilities, and of course Geodude Alola being a Rock and Electric type. Now, people, what do you think of Geodude or Graveler and Golem or Alola Golem? And do you like these Pokemon? What do you think of them? Let me know in the comment section of the video. And of course, if you want to support the channel there, people, drop a like on the video. Only takes 1 second and is absolutely free. So we've got this stalling Trevenant, which I'm trying to think how I'm going to get around, because as you can see, that's why they've sent it out. It's a clean and easy counter to my team. So I'm thinking really, really hard how I'm even going to be able to beat a single Pokemon, let alone the rest of their team. So we got that, I think that screen went down then. That's sort of what I was aiming for. So we're going to go to Golem. This is a Flail, Rock Polish, Rock Blast, Fire Punch set with Terra Fire. So what I was trying to do here was to get a Weakness Policy activator. So I went for the Rock Polish. Unfortunately, the Trevenant is going to go for a Leech Seed. Now, this is going to be Max Attack and Max Speed, Jolly Nature, and with the ability Galvanize. So what Galvanize does, it turns Pokemon's normal moves into Electric-type moves, and they also have a 1.2 times boost as well in power. So pretty cool ability, but not many Pokemon actually get it. So maybe in the future, if you had a Pokemon, who would you give Galvanize to, as an ability? Any Pokemon out there. I actually like to see what people say about that, any Pokemon at all. Anyway, so I went for a Terra Fire and Fire Punch. It just wasn't quite enough to take out the Trevenant, sadly. Now, Trevenant is going to be a typical sort of Harvest berry set with Figgy Berry this time. Normally it's Citrus or Figgy, one of the two, or any sort of healing berry with Leech Seed. It makes it very, very difficult to feint when you have, this is probably my best move to use against it, and it can't one-shot it. So I'm in a fair amount of trouble at the moment, just with one Pokemon. So Trevenant's going to harvest that berry back. Now they're going to go for the Terra. They're going to press their advantage even more. They weren't if they weren't at a already overwhelming advantage, and now they're going to go for a Terra Fighting. So I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. So as soon as I seen Terra Fighting, I'm like, yep, you've got Drain Punch. I know you do. So I went for Fire Punch. Obviously, it won't feint it, and they're going to be eating another berry. So I'm thinking to myself here, well, I wonder how much damage this will actually do to me. So here comes the Drain Punch here. It's going to be Terra Drain Punch, and that does a good amount of damage, but Golem's got some nice base defense, and it has put me on quite a low amount of health. So I'm like, Flail's going to do good here. Like, really, really good. And now, since it's a fighting-type Pokemon, I'm going to be able to hit that for neutral damage, whereas before it was grass. So I went for the Flail, and that is the end of the Trevin. I know they didn't expect that. They probably got like, huh? What's that? So anyway, Trevin is down. Next Pokemon is Scumbreon. So this is going to be a typical stalling Umbreon. Judging on the movesets they've already used. I went for Flail again, and Umbreon gets dropped like a stone. I did get a crit there, but I wonder how much that mattered because, Golem with its attack stat and a low base, low health Flail is very, very powerful. So out comes Yanmega. It's going to go for its little speed boost protect here, and it's going to try and boost up its speed. More importantly, it's going to try and stall out my Leech Seed as well. I thought about actually swapping there, but I thought, well, I probably, I don't know, maybe you'll use something different, and then by the time I swap it back in, it'll probably get outsped anyway. So I decided to just leave it in there. I was happy that I got around, Trevin and Umbreon. Very, very stally Pokemon for sure. And especially Trevin, that was a really, really good counter for my team. So we're going to go to Golem now. This Golem is a meme set. It's a special set. It's absolutely terrible. I've got Earth Power, Fire Blast, Terra Blast, Water, and Sandstorm. Ability is going to be Sand Veil. So my Bright Powder actually kicked in there, and Yanmega is going to get dropped by a Fire Blast. The Giga Drain actually missed, which is amazing. So it's trying, it actually, that miss there really made this battle quite exciting because then they couldn't just press the A button, 3 times in a row. So now the Grimmsnarl's going to come out and set up Light Screen against a Golem, which you probably wouldn't see too often. And now I'm going to go for Earth Power. Of course, it's going to do nothing because, it's a special attack is terrible. And now they're going to set the Reflect up again. So I'm like, all right, that's fair. What I'm going to do is set the Sandstorm up because this actually has Sand Veil, and it's a Sand Veil Bright Powder set with special moves. The EVs are going to be Max Health and Max Special Attack Modest Nature. And it's, it's not very good. So I'm going to go for a Terra Blast here, and that is enough to take out the Grimmsnarl. Its attack actually missed there, which is pretty funny. So I got a couple of misses, which is pretty cool. Next Pokemon is Forretress. Now, they know that I've got Fire Blast, but I'd say with the Light Screen up and, Golem's absolutely terrible special attack, it's probably going to live, right, in the sand. So here comes the Fire Blast, and Forretress does live that thanks to the Light Screen, and I get an unnecessary burn there. And now Forretress is obviously going to be going for either a Rapid Spin or, some sort of status move like that. So I went for Rapid Spin, and I got rid of the Stealth Rock. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, that's cool. I can finish off the Forretress, pretty much the next turn. So a little bit of burn damage there. Now Golem can go for either Fire Blast again or just another move. It's going to set the Stealth Rocks up, which is fine. I've used my sturdy Pokemon up already. So go for Earth Power and bye-bye Forretress. But the special Golem doing a lot more than I ever dreamed it would do. Next Pokemon is going to be Cinderace, another clean counter to my team. It's going to go for a high jump kick. I was hoping out of all the misses I could have got, it would have been there. But Golem is going to faint there, unfortunately. And now I'm going to go into Graveler. I think the sand actually, the Sandstorm finished as well. So I'm going to take some damage here. This is a really bulky set. It's max health, max defense. But as you know, a high jump kick coming from a Libero Cinderace is very, very powerful. Plus, they've got a Light Screen and Protect up on top of it as well. So many counters there. I felt like at this stage, I was actually winning the battle. I was doing really, really well to stay in it. So what I thought is to get rid of these screens at least, because this Graveler was like a charge beam set, and it wasn't very strong. It was only kind of bulky with Everlight. So this is a Magnet Pull set with Everlight as the item. Max health, max defense, charge, rest, sleep talk, and charge beam. So I got pretty unlucky here. I actually managed to get a couple of, I went for rest and then sleep talk, and I got rid of the Light Screen to Reflect, which is good, but I never really got any attacking moves here off on the Cinderace. I was hoping to get a charge beam there after a charge, but I got 2 charges in a row, which is quite unlucky there. So Cinderace pretty much got off scot-free there. So that's the end of my Graveler. Even 1 charge beam would have been good for a little bit of damage. So I've got 1 more Pokemon left, and of course, it's another Graveler. This is my physical Graveler. It's a Rockhead set with Everlight, max attack and max health. Rockhead is the ability. The only move for Rockhead is Double Edge and Takedown, so it's a terrible set. So I went for Dynamic Punch, and it landed. I'm like, yes! So Dynamic Punch has landed. Cinderace is confused. If I can get the confusion here, I win. And Cinderace is going to be confused this turn. And I'm hoping it hits itself, and it didn't. I was so close to winning that battle with absolute... there was so many counters there, but that was a really cool battle. I hope you enjoyed it. I pretty much got to try out nearly all of the Pokemon there. I can't believe how well I did against that team with like 3 clean, easy counters. Next battle, this one is against Harrison, and we have a King Toilet lead. So I've got my Geodude here, and it's going to go for Iron Defense. Like, yeah, this could be a bit of a problem. So I'm thinking they might try like some sort of body press set, or they're just setting up to, you know, be bulky, and they know that my entire team is Geodudes and Gravelers and Golems. So they're probably expecting to be a bit all like physical attacker. So I've got this Stealth Rocket up here on the field, which is going to be handy. I went for an Earthquake here on the King Gambit, and obviously it's not going to do hardly any damage. Now they're going to go for an Iron Head. The only good thing about that, I do have Sturdy, but the bad thing is if I get Flinch, it's going to be very, very bad because I won't be able to get these Sturdy off. So I got the Earthquake off again. I've got him down to actually half health now, plus the Custard Berry priority. I'm guessing I never expected me to have that, so that's unfortunate. And then my attack missed. I'm like, wait, this must be a Bright Powder or a Laxin Sense King Gambit. What is this? Some sort of troll set. So it missed. I was like, okay, that's it. I've got to send in my other Geodude, right? So I'm going to the Geodude number 2. Here comes Kotal Cleave, and that's going to put me down to my Sturdy. I was actually happy about that and not Iron Head because, you know, I could have flinched me. So I went for a counter, and that is going to be enough to take out the King Gambit, knock it right off its toilet. So that's good, you know. That's a good counter gone. Next Pokemon is going to be Appleton. I don't know what these Pokemon nicknames mean. If I don't know if anyone can pick up on them, let me know. I'm going to have that Custard Berry activation. I just went boom, and I'm hoping for some good damage against the Appleton. And here it comes, people. It almost takes it out, which is pretty impressive. So that's the end of Geodude. Appleton only has a little bit of health left, so it's going to go for a Dragon Pulse. So we're going to slide into Golem here, Alola Golem, and we can finish it off with a Disrespect Fire Punch. I say Disrespect Fire Punch because they probably have thick fat. So that's the end of the Appleton. Next Pokemon we got is going to be Killer Wattrels. I'm like, ooh, okay, this is going to be interesting. What are they going to do here? Now they're going to go for a Terror. I'm like, okay, I wonder what Terror they're going to use here. This is going to be kind of interesting. Then they went for Terror Fighting. I'm like, oh, wait a second. This could be interesting, depending on like what happens here. So I went for a Rock Polish this turn. They went for a Terror Blast Fighting. I'm like, well, this is going to be super effective. My item is a weakness policy. I lived on 3 health. You wouldn't read about it. And I got the weakness policy on top of that. Like, wow. Yo, this flail is gonna, it's gonna absolutely pop off. So I went for the Rock Plus. That's gonna double my speed. And Golem's going to be very, very quick after +2 in speed. That flail is super powerful now. So that's the end of the Kilowattrel. Now we've got, next Pokemon is going to be, we got Walking Meme here. So Walking Meme's going to come out. I just went for Flail again. This Pokemon is a very, very strong Pokemon to my team as well. It's going to get a boost, special attack boost there. I outspeed and I dropped it. I'm like, man, this thing is really, really good. The only thing about this set I wish I could have done is like to have like, I don't know, a Sash or like Endure on it, because it was hard to get the Flail and weakness policy to work. But that was a full sweep there on my opponent's team. It just completely swept there until they brought 5 Pokemon. I guess they thought they'd probably win with, when they see my team in the team preview. But anyway, Alola Golem sweep there. Easy peasy. Next Pokemon battle, this one is against Lucas, and we got a Belly Bolt lead. Now, this was a real pain the entire time because they stalled so much with it. So we're going to have a Reflect set up against my Geodude. I just went for the Stealth Rock there. I put that on the field. I thought that'd be necessary. Now they're going to set up the Light Screen. So I'm like, okay, Reflect, Light Screen, Electric Move, and something else. So I wonder what they're going to have. So I went for the Earthquake here. Earthquake actually got a critical hit, which was really, really cool. I'm like, ooh, that's nice. I should be able to, take them out maybe on the next or second hit. Then they went for Slack Off. I'm like, okay, so they got Screens and Slack Off. They must have like just an electric move. Maybe like, I was thinking like maybe like Volt Switch or something like that, or Parabolic Charge. Something along those lines, works well with Electro and Morphosis. So they're going to keep spamming the Slack Off over and over again. They cannot possibly lose one Pokemon. That would be terrible. And now they're going to swap it out and go into Pelipper. So another clean counter for my team there. So it's going to take a little bit of Stealth Rock damage and set up the Drizzle. So I'm trying to think what I'm going to be able to do here. I do have Flail, but with Galvanized Flail, I'm going to be on a low amount of health, and I have to take a hit as well, and I've got no Sturdy or Focus Sash. I'm like, this is going to be difficult. So I went to Geodude here, and I thought I might be able to take advantage of my Custard Berry. So they went for the Surf there. Any water-type move is going to be very, very strong. And now I'm going to be eating my Custard Berry. Like, okay, I have to either go for Stone Edge or try and stall this Rain out, or go for, Stone Edge, or try and stall or go for Explosion. I actually ended up going for the Endure here to try and stall out those screens, because Pelipper's actually got some very, very good bulk to it. And I feel like even if I had a chance to attack it, I don't think I would have actually been able to feint it. So I went into my Golem here in hopes that I could maybe do a little bit of damage here with Rock Blast. And I went for a couple of Rock Blasts here, hoping that I could maybe feint the Pelipper. And I got 4 hits, which is nice. So that's the end of the Pelipper. I got that counter out the way. That was another good counter. The other moves this had were Rock Blast and Fire Punch. I think I already said that anyway. But next Pokemon we got is another counter here, which is going to be Float Cell. I'm like, man, this is rough, right? So I went into Graveler. Really, what can you swap into at this point? Like, speedy water Pokemon. So obviously it's got Swift Swim. Then again, even if it didn't have Swift Swim, it's going to outspeed me. They're going to go for Terra Water, of course. Obviously, all of the water move would have feinted me anyway, but you've got to go for that Terra Water. Here comes the Liquidation, and that's the end of Graveler. So instead of feinting me 2 times, 1 time over, they feinted me 100 times over. So next Pokemon's going to be a Geodude. I'm like, yes, all right, I can beat this thing. So thank goodness I've got a sturdy Pokemon and I've got Custard Berry. I knew they would never, ever expect that. So I've got that sturdy coming in there, and then I went for the Earthquake. I'm like, this will do good damage. It should be a 2-hit KO, which it was. And I got the Custard Berry activation, hoping they didn't have Aqua Jet, or wouldn't use it at least. And double Earthquake was enough to take out the Float Zone. I imagine they probably thought they would have won there, judging on the rest of my team, all being weak to that, right? Next Pokemon's going to be Kilowattrel, another Kilowattrel, and it's going to go for a Hurricane. That was a really risky play there, because I was going to go for Explosion. I don't know, that was super, super risky, but then I'm thinking, well, they probably didn't have any other moves to use against me, like, it's not like they could have used an electric move. So I swapped in my Golem. They're going to go for the Volt Switch there. I'd say they probably got like Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hurricane, something along those lines. Anyway, so they've got Life Orb as the item. Out comes the Altaria. It's a shiny one too. There's it's all like, it's nearly all yellow Pokemon when you think about it. It is. I just noticed that. So I went for the Rock Polish here, and I thought, well, like, I might be able to get around Altaria with Rock Blast, depending on sort of what EVs this is going to be. So I can see it's got leftovers. It might be bulky. It's like, yeah, that's going to need a lot of hits. So I only got 2 hits, which really, really sucked. I was like, man, that's a shame. Now they're going to go for Default, and they're going to actually get rid of my Stealth Rocks, which is a bit of a shame there. It only really mattered that much, I say, on Kilowattrel, not so much the other Pokemon. So I went for Rock Blast again, and I needed 4 hits to take out Altaria. That's the only thing when you run Rock Blast without, loaded dice. It can be 2 to 5 hits. So now they're going to send in their Belly Bolt again. Obviously, if I had a normal Golem set, but this Belly Bolt would already be dead. But I only had a meme set with Rock Blast, and I couldn't really do a lot of damage to it. So they're able to freely set up a Reflect there. In a normal battle, there's no way that Belly Bolt would ever be able to set that up. So I got the Graveler here. They're going to set up the Light Screen again, and they're probably going to use Slack Off. So I thought, well, they can't really do much to Graveler here. I know they've got an electric move. I absolutely know that. They're going to Slack Off. I went for Double Edge. This is actually a Terra Normal Graveler, which is Terra Terrible. And they're going to swap that out, obviously, and go into Drifblim. Just like a full yellow team, or like a yellow Pokemon team. So I went for Metro Mia. I thought this would be so funny if I get Zap Cannon. And I got Bullet Punch. Like, oh, that's terrible. So now I went for a Terra Normal here, because I thought, well, they're probably going to go for a Shadow Ball here. Judging on all their movesets, they're very standard, so they're pretty easy for you to predict there. So I went for Terra Normal, and I thought, well, I can dodge 1 Shadow Ball. That'll be nice, and then maybe get 1 attack on them, because I imagine that my Graveler will probably take maybe 2 to 3 hits to take them out. So I went for Gyro Ball there. Gyro Ball did virtually nothing, and now they're going to go for Air Slash there. So they got a lucky flinch there on my Graveler there, and then they went for another one. I actually managed to get 1 more Gyro Ball off there. If only I didn't get flinch, I probably would have put it on a little bit less health. But anyway, Graveler did probably the best job it could do there against Drifblim. I didn't think there was much point me tearing any of my other Pokemon either. They really couldn't do too much. So I went into my special Golem. They're going to go for a Shadow Ball here. I knew I'd be able to live that one. I do have max health too, so I took that rather well considering. And now I'm going to set up the Sandstorm. So I've got that Sandstorm, I've got Sand Veil and Bright Powder going, so I thought maybe I can cheese a couple of these last couple of Pokemon. The Light Screen is now gone, and then went for Decimon. Okay, that was good. I thought they may just keep attacking me there, but then again, they probably expected me to be like, you know, I'm not sure, like a physical Golem, right? Maybe after that, they probably realized I was using like meme sets. Anyway, so Golem's gonna faint there. Not that Golem would have done much to the last few Pokemon. Maybe this, but under a screen, it's gonna do no damage at all. So they've got their Belly Bolt again, which of course they're gonna set up the screens and use Slack Off again. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could do about it. I had like more of a meme set for this, so they're going to set the light screen up. I knew they set the screens up, and there's no point in me even going for that, so I thought the best play I can actually do here is to outspeed that Kilowattrel, because I already know they're going to set Reflect up, right? So I went for 2 Rock Polishers. That was going to be more than enough to outspeed. I just wanted to show you the damage that I was doing to. It was like virtually nothing. So I think they stalled here for a while with Slack Off, and maybe they got bored of stalling. I know, I was certainly getting like bored of this Belly Bolt. And now they went for the Volt Switch, and yeah, Golem managed to live that, which is cool. Obviously, it resists that. And then the Kilowattrel came back in. I was like, all right, well, I should be able to take the Kilowattrel out. I imagine they've just got the normal typical sweeping set, and 3 hits was still enough with Reflect Up, which was fine. So Kilowattrel's down. And the last Pokemon was the Belly Bolt. They don't really have to do much here. They just have to press the Volt Switch. And yeah, I can't do anything at all. If I had Earthquake, it would have been a much different story. But still, it was a good battle. I thought I'd feature this one. And yeah, thank you for the battle there. I think that was a random yellow team. I'm not sure if that was their theme there. But I did as best as I could with absolute smoking trash there. I thought that Geodude with Sturdy and Earthquake actually saved me from losing to the Float Cell, I think. Much earlier, I would have lost that a long time ago. Next battle, this is against a random person too. We got a Hydro Pumping Inteleon, which I was very scared of. I was like, man, this thing could completely destroy my entire team. Like, it outsped all my Pokemon, and you know, with 1 point of a finger, your boy was going to faint. So anyway, we got that Sturdy, which is good. I just went for Earthquake here, so I thought, well, double Earthquake will be enough to take that out. It's also a naughty Hack Mom too, so we got to get rid of that. We're going to throw that stuff in the trash. So 2 Earthquakes is going to be enough here to take out the Inteleon, which is pretty good. It was good. A lot of the time, I could either get 1 Earthquake off or 2 Earthquakes, and then an Earthquake or Explosion. So out comes Cinderace. This thing used Pyroblast. Like, man, that was risky. Really, really risky, because you could have missed that, and I would have gone for like an Earthquake or Explosion. So I don't know, like, that was risky in my opinion. Anyway, so they got lucky there landing the Pyrobolt. They went for a high jump kick. And I was like, I don't know what I can do. I just went for Double Edge. I got some good damage there. And High Jump Kick actually was a 3-hit KO on my Gravel, which is pretty cool. So I went for a Disrespect Gyro Ball there. It's still a fast Pokemon anyway, so I knew that you would actually faint it. So that is the end of Cinderace. Now, next Pokemon is going to be Armorogue. So Armorogue can pretty much use anything. It's going to go for a Psychic. I'm like, all right, fair enough. It is a fire type, so I do have a good advantage of that with a couple of my other Pokemon too. So I went into the Golem here, Alola Golem. I thought maybe I could get something going here. So I went for the Rock Polish. I was like, oh, I outsped that. It must be, I mean, this is max speed, but it's not really that fast. Then they went for a Psychic here. So Psychic did pretty good damage for me, and I went for Rock Blast. I was hoping I could land a couple of hits against him, and I got 3, which is lucky because that would have actually fainted with his Psychic. So that's the end of Armorogue. Next Pokemon, oh, it's another hack one. It's a Charizard. So I'm like, well, Charizard is going to enjoy those Stealth Rocks, right? So then I went for a Flail. I was like, you know, I'm enough to take out the Charizard. It's lost half its health. And even though I'm not on the smallest amount of health, it's still going to be good. So out comes in my Scarlet. This is a clean counter. Very, very glad that I had that Rock Polish up. Otherwise, that would have destroyed me, and I destroyed it with a Fire Punch. Next Pokemon, of course, is Miraidon. Now, you'd probably think I've got the advantage against Miraidon, but Miraidon still has pretty, powerful Dragon offense here. And I believe, I was like, when they tear it, I'm like, I bet you they're going to go into, like, maybe something that's not electric, maybe Dragon, and they went for Dragon. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So this could be a bit of a problem here, because I've lost my Geodude already, 1 Geodude, so I don't have a sturdy Custep to fall back on. And then my move missed then. Yeah, my move missed. And then it took me out with a Terra Blast Dragon. I was like, okay, that's this ring. So half my team's gone. So I've got my next Golem here, the special Golem. I'm like, all right, let's see if we can get a Sand Veil miss there. Sorry, a Bright Powder miss there. And I actually managed to live on a small amount of health due to my, like, crazy health investment. and I got 1 Earth Power off there, which is pretty good. That would have done a lot if it was actually, electric. So I got a Bright Power to miss there, and I managed to get up a Sandstorm. I didn't think I'd live the next turn. That's why I went for Sandstorm. So I got that Sand going. Here comes another Terra Blast, and that is the end of Golem. So I've got a Graveler left, a Graveler Alola, and I've got one more Geodude. So, Geodude Alola. So I'm swapping this in. I'm thinking, well, I can either go for Explosion here, or I might as well go for Explosion, right? So it's going to be very powerful. So I've got that Sturdy there, which is good to fall back on, and now I'm going to just go for Explosion. I'm like, this should be enough, right? Judging on the small, look how tiny the Explosion is, and that is enough to take out the Miraidon, and that is the end of the 4th and final battle. Hope you enjoyed the Geodude evolution teams. I've been waiting years to do this team. If you enjoyed it, drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, people.